Good evening. So I'm going to be faceless and I have a bit of a cold or allergy, so don't mind any sniffling that I'm doing. I've got my workstation. I reorganized the plant room, which I'll take you for a tour of, hopefully soon. And I have some plants that are ready to be repot, that have grown out of their little cups. So I just buy these 8-ounce, no, sorry, these are 16-ounce cups, and they're like the perfect little terrarium environment. If I need to air them, I can always poke open the straw hole, and I reuse these over and over and over and over again, just because I don't want to throw plastic into the ground or have to recycle and use the energy for that. So anyway, I've got all these plants and so many more that are outgrowing their cups, and so I'm going to show you how I propagate them. I've got my soil mix here that I have. I just make a little batch of it, and I have a video on that as well, but basically it's just I use ProMix HP and perlite and a little bit of lime and a whole lot of vermiculite. I think that's about it. Perhaps some worm castings, and that's about it. And that's my mix of soil, so it's fairly sandy, airy. The vermiculite is a very fine vermiculite, so it's very good for making the soil nice and well draining. Okay, and I've got various sizes of cups. Now I have these sticks, which I find are amazing. They're just like skewer sticks, I guess. Amazing for planting begonias. I use this side to make a little hole. I use this side to tamp down the soil. You'll see. Okay. And then I've got my water bottles. I like these ones because they're very precise. They've got this precise nozzle, and they limit the amount of watering. You're not going to pour from a big watering can into a tiny little container. So I've got these little watering containers, and what I use inside here, I've been using lately, is I guess it's a macrorhizal inoculant, and this one that I'm using is called Recharge. I've got it in this container. I love this container somebody gave me. Everybody gives me containers. But this is the Recharge stuff, and I use a tiny bit. And I don't know if it's the growing season or if it's the Recharge, but my plants are loving it. Did I mention I have my favorite ginger beer ever? Cheers. It's non-alcoholic because, well, I don't have the enzyme to metabolize alcohol, even though I am wearing a stay-at-home drinker shirt, ironically. All right, so let's get started. So I have a couple of these Begonia liaei. Ignore my pronunciation if it's wrong, but you can see the leaves are getting all compressed into here, and that's not good. Like, this one is literally just pressed up against the side of the cup, and it'll melt probably if I don't cut it soon. I sometimes also take, in my drawer here, I have glue dots. So sometimes I'll take glue dots and just stick them on the rim, and in order to make the cup taller, I'll just do that, and that'll just extend the terrarium, the cup terrarium, for a period of time. Okay, so I have scissors, and I've got some hydrogen peroxide or alcohol or whatever you want to use, and I've got a cloth here as well. I have a fabric business, so I'm actually going to make some of these amazingly soft microfiber cloths, and I'll just have some planty sayings on here or something, or some plant photos, maybe some begonias, and I think that'd be really cute just to have as our little plant towel by your side to clean up. Okay, excuse my sniffling. So I'm going to look at this plant in here. I don't know if you can see, but it's got tons of airy roots. So if you can get an aerial root, that of course would be beneficial. Gives the plant a little head start. Maybe I'll pull it out of here so you can have a look. I've got a plastic sheet over my IKEA desk that I got on Marketplace so that my desk stays clean. So here it is. Let's see. So if you can see all of these aerial roots. So if you have a node, that's great. If you have an aerial root, that's great. I've even just propagated this by leaf. It will do that as well. So let's see. I am going to, let's see, that's just two tiny little leaves right there. So I won't do that. I'll do a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll take it down to this aerial root right there. And I like to cut it at an angle. Maximize the surface area. And there's the aerial root. Hang on, I'll just put this back in here. Give it a little tiny sprinkling of water. And sometimes I use a little bit of fertilizer. This is Nutricoat. I've got Maxi, which I would put in the water. CalMag. But I'll put that back in there. And that can continue growing. And then over here, let's see. You can see I've got that aerial root and a node. So maybe I'll just plant this whole thing in. It propagates fairly easily, in my opinion. I haven't really had difficulty with it. In this case, I think I'll put it in a cup like the other one. This is a fairly difficult plant to get a hold of, at least here in Canada. So I've got my soil. I'm going to do a little watering. Okay, and then, whoops, and then my trusty little stick. I'm going to make a hole. I'm sure you know all this. And then I will plug that little chunk and aerial root in. And then on the other side of the stick is just my little, I don't know, little paddle, shovel, whatever you want to call it. But it's just great because I can kind of just snug that in. Press the soil in. And just use that stick interchangeably. I use these for a long time. Okay, and then a lid on that. You can date it if you want. I have so many cups in this room. I'll show you later someday. I don't bother dating it. I'll give it a tug if I want to test if it has rooted or not. Then I just leave that on my shelf. Put those down there. Okay, and I've got another one that is also growing. This is a little skinny, growing out of the, up to the top of the cup anyway. So let's try taking just, in this case, let's take, I've got an aerial root in here as well. So I'll cut at the aerial root, like so again. See that? Maybe against the black chair. But I'm going to take a leaf cutting to show you as well. So we'll set that aside, or a stem, or leaf with petiole rather. Can't talk. So leaf with petiole, right there. Got two there now. Okay, and this one I'm just going to put into a little cup. So I have different sizes of cups. These are just, I guess these are 1 ounce shot glasses. These are 2. And then I've got a 3 ounce as well. And then I've got maybe like a 6 ounce cups, plastic cups. And then I've got 8 ounce and, I don't know, 12 ounce or something. So I'll put some of my begonia soil in there. Little water. Tap it down a bit. Make my hole. And then I'll just, oh, I won't drop the scissors. Plug the little cutting with the aerial root in there. And tamp it down with my little paddle, whatever you want to call it, my stir stick. There we go. And then I'll just put it into a Tupperware box, which I'll show you. So I just got these boxes, which are pretty small, fairly clear. They're just from Dollarama, the dollar store. And I just keep some of my propagations in there. I've got shelves and shelves of them. I think this is Capas huluensis that I grew from my own seed. Look at this cute little Begonia roseo punctata. Can you see that little baby in there? Okay, and if you wanted to poke some aeration holes in there, Dremel is, to me, the best thing. You don't use a heat gun, or I don't use a heat gun because I don't want to breathe the plastic fumes and die. So anyway, I'll just put that into little boxes, those little Tupperware boxes. But yeah, use a Dremel to cut aeration holes if you want. Easy, quick, no fumes, which is great. So here I'm just going to do, let's tap that down a bit, the soil, and then I'm just going to do a leaf with petiole. And I have had success with just a leaf cutting with a few slits cut in as well. Maybe I'll insert a photo of that here later, if I remember. So that, got a stem, we've got a leaf with petiole, and you can do just a leaf cutting and cut some slits into the veins as well. So I'll put those away. That was the mother. Put that back on the shelf. And then, check this out. This is Locii, maybe? I can't remember the name of it offhand. I'll look it up and I'll insert it. You can maybe see that there is a big leaf that I use for just a petiole, leaf and petiole propagation, and the little babies have come up. Here, I'll pull it out and show you. I used to be so scared of, when I first started, of disturbing plants, but I realized they're pretty hardy. So that's the leaf that I made the propagation with, and these are little baby planties. Isn't that amazing? So reuse, renew, recycle. I actually can reuse this leaf now that the babies are well on their way, so they're gonna separate from mama. And I'll just put them back into the cup and try to move the leaves away from the side of the cup so that they don't melt so easily if they touch the wet or the moisture. Okay, and let's give it a couple things of Nutricoat. And that goes back on the shelf. Now, where did that mama go? Oh, there it is. So, here's mama. I still have quite a bit of petiole left, so why not prop it again? Isn't that amazing? I think it's so amazing. So, begonia soil, water, tap it down, make a hole, and then we're just going to put that baby back in and try not to let the leaf touch the soil. I mean, it's not harmful if it does, but I'm actually going to see if I can use the leaf one more time after this. So after this forms babies, then maybe I can cut some slits into the leaf and use it again. Or I can cut this leaf shorter, like smaller, and then use the other portion of the leaf to make more propagations. I mean, the possibilities are endless. But there you have the reusing of the mama. And then we'll put that into the Tupperware as well. This one is Begonia pavonina cyan. Oh, look, lost the leaf. This is amazingly iridescent in certain lights. Like, it's on my Instagram. It's amazing. I can't even describe it. It's like a glowing silvery green color. So I've got a couple of leaves here that have some just maybe like wet spots decay from being too wet or whatnot. So this leaf has a few aerial roots already, so I'll just plug that in, and then the roots are growing all out of this container, you can see. You can kind of see the iridescence. Can you see that? So anyway, I will take this little leaf that's half rotted. I mean, ideally you should use healthy leaves, but if I'm going to cut this off, I'm going to use it anyway then. I'm just going to throw it away because that would be crazy. So I've got another one there. We'll put this one back. You know, that it's actually getting kind of bent from being trapped in there. Sometimes I put a little bit of moss in, wet moss in the cups or in the propagation boxes just to add to the humidity. I'll clean this off a little bit. And I'll grab my 1 ounce cup. Begonia soil, mix water, tap it down a bit. Magic stick. And then we will just pop that guy in and use the paddle side to snug the petiole into the dirt. And then again over here, tap down the soil, make a hole, sneak that petiole in, and just snug it with the paddle side so that it doesn't wobble, so that it's right in there. Sorry about that. So my alarm went off. It's my alarm to remind me to stop eating for intermittent fasting and drinking sugar. You see that's working really well. But as well as that stationary bike is on the other side of my workstation here. Cheers. Next week I'll start. So those go into the propagation bins. That goes back on the shelf. I've got a cool one here. This one I don't know the name of, but check that out. It's cool. It's almost black with a little bit of pink rim and pink dots. My favorite right now, of course, is Darth Vaderiana cross with Amphioxus. That's not this, but I've been propagating that like crazy. And then I've made a few of my own hybrids, which I'm pretty excited about as well. So let's propagate this. I've already propagated it once, but the great thing with these domes, well, the bad thing is there's a bit of mold there. The good thing is that there's so much humidity, they make so many aerial roots. So maybe I could wipe down the mold or something with a little bit of alcohol. I could, in theory, but I'm not going to right now. So let's see, we've got a little plantlet coming out down here. So cute. And got a ton of aerial roots. So this is my mama plant. So let me see. I already cut it once. Where should I cut it next? I think I'll take it from here. And got some amazing aerial roots. Still got my mama and the baby. Now, if you see any like rotting or wet plant matter in your begonias and in your terrariums, you should try to wipe it away because that'll just touch another leaf and cause that to rot, and then the rotting and melting thus commences. Okay, so if you're a good plant parent, you would probably clean off that mold. Oh, look, my paddle stick works well. I put my paper towels away. So let's take, okay, well anyway, get that back snug in there, away from the edge. See, your little stamper thing paddle thing can push soil around. It's really the most amazing stick. Oh, I just broke something. That's okay. Let's propagate it. Just want to add a little more soil in so it wasn't so close to the edge. Okay, well, we accidentally took another propagation. It's a little wet in there, so I might just open my cup at the top here where the straw goes in. These are from the States. We don't even have straws in Canada or in BC anymore. They're banned. I think there's lots more things they could ban personally, like recently I've been using, oh, this is like those little, mind you, you have to keep up because I have a little bit of ADHD, or at least ADD. These are like those, when you go to a fancy restaurant and they come by and you eat bread and then they come by and they scrape all your breadcrumbs away. It reminds me of that as well. This is really quite a versatile stick, I'm telling you. All right, so now I've accidentally made 2 cuttings. Look at those roots. I think for this plant, I could probably use either. Sometimes for my more plants that I don't have a million propagations of yet, I sometimes could put them in their own little humidity dome, aka plastic cup. I'm just going to push these roots back so I can maybe tuck them downwards into the soil here. Okay, so I'm going to push that in, and I'll use my paddle and gently just secure it in, and also see if I can get some of those roots in there, but not the leaf. Not the leaf because I don't want it to melt. So I've got my get these little like bamboo Chinese soup spoons from Amazon. Well, or I stole them from my kids. But you can just use like takeout soup spoons from Asian restaurants. You want to try not to get too much water on the leaf or have the leaf touching the media, just because, infamous begonia melt. Take my handy dandy cloth and I'll just wipe away some of the water on the leaves and make sure that the leaf is not touching the media if possible. Okay, so there we have that beautiful, I don't know what cross it is, begonia. That will go on the shelf. Okay, and then we've got this little guy, which leaf and petiole. So cute. See, it's almost black. Little pink dots. Some more than others. Oh, excuse my sniffling. So, let's get that into a little 1 ounce cup. Just tap that down, make a little hole, and I'll just poke the stem in. The longer this, well, you can't use obviously a really hugely long stem, but you want it to be secure in there. But the longer the stem that sticks out of the plant, the more likely I think that you can wait for the babies to come up and then snip the stem, not the stem, I mean the petiole, snip the petiole again, and then use that again to make another prop if the leaf is still healthy enough. If you find that the babies have come up and then this leaf is starting to die, the mama leaf, then you want to cut that away, because if she gets all wet and moldy, then she'll mold or rot the other guys. Okay, that's mama. Let's clean up some of this. Okay, and then here we have a beautiful Begonia Darth Vaderiana crossed with, I don't know if I'm saying it properly, but variabilis. Variabilis. I know it's called variabilis because it varies a lot in its presentation or morphology. Just cleaning the cup there, really. Adding a little more soil, and then here we have lots going on. I actually had one of these that grew huge once, and then it started to die, as begonias do. So this is I think this is a tuberous one, but the stems look quite tuberous from the variabilis, I guess. So there is my cutting with some aerial roots, and we've got plenty more here. So I think if I cut these, it'll actually grow quite a lot thicker, the plant itself. So that's obviously going to grow out of there. Now that cup is too small, so let's take that out. I see some gross leaves here, so let's take off the wet soggy part. I'm going to grab a large cup because, Starbucks, if you go to Starbucks, you can get your regular drink. For me, it's a chai tea latte. Actually, I didn't need that much soda in there, did I? Let's pour some of that back out. A chai tea latte, get your drink and then ask for whatever cup you need. So I don't buy a lot of these huge venti cups for my plants. But when I go to Starbucks, I'll just ask for I'm putting this one in here. Got confused there. That one in there. Drop that in. The mama plant now has lots of room to grow. Ask for a cup of water when you get your Starbucks drinks as well. And then you have a cup. My friends also know to bring me their cups. They bring me the little takeout, even the takeout cups that you get sauces in, like, I don't know, ketchup or soy sauce or peanut sauce or something. And I use those for my pings. But this is so cute. There's actually a candle, I think. Obviously, I bought it for the container, the vessel that the candle came in. And I just planted this cute, adorable pink ping in. So cute. If you put your pings close to the light, they will grow very large for you. Okay, so let's push some of this soil down. And we'll put this biggie in here with the aerial roots. Poke that in. Use your stamper to boop, 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 boop. Just snug as a bug it. You can wipe away the moisture from the side of the cup if you're afraid of the leaves melting. So you can use your trusty microfiber cloth. I have to remember to get on Photoshop and make some of these little plant microfiber cloths. Something that's not really good with so I don't really know I have a fabric business as well. I'm not really good with like jokes, humor, or like planty sayings or names, so I'm not sure if I would put any wording on these plant microfiber cloths. But like I said, feel free to tell me if you have any ideas of quotes I might put other than, crazy plant lady, crazy plant guy. It's so cute. So this one, I find that this does the best. Well, no, it's fine. I was going to say it does the best in cups, but I think it's fine in the propagation box in these little planters, if you want to call them that, shot glasses, as opposed to the plastic cups. So another one for the bin. A little bit of ginger beer. You seriously have to try this if you can handle it, as it's gingery. Now check this one out. I believe I got this from seed, or I got this as seeds, or this is grown from seeds that I got from Tom Cranham in the UK. So that's getting bent over as well. So this is Begonia Dracopelta crossed with Capausuluensis. So Dracopelta is the bumpy one with like brown and green and yellow. And then Capausuluensis is the kind of iridescent one. I have seeds of that one. I've bred that one with a few things to make some cool hybrids. So I'm going to cut it at the node with that aerial root right there. Some of you may be saying or noticing that I have not sterilized my scissors in between plants. And you're right, I have not. And I have no excuses for it. Except perhaps, if you wanted to, by the way, you could put a little cinnamon on here just to prevent bacteria. Oop, a little cinnamon on the other part as well. So yeah, I have not sterilized them. I think I've gotten to the point where generally I think they're okay. I haven't sterilized my scissors or my little stick. And I've got so many begonias that I'm not so nervous about them anymore. I used to be so nervous about them. I'm going to put this one in a, let me see, I'm going to put it in a cup. Once I have more of them, then I may put them into a propagation bin, but sometimes I just like to give it its own isolated environment and lots of humidity by just being in here. And these cups probably have more light than the bins. The bins are slightly, they've got a slight like fogginess or film on them. But I have many sizes of plastic bins that I buy from Dollarama. You can order them online as well, but you have to get them as a case, and they're no cheaper. But at least you don't have to rent a $500 Dollaramas and to try to find one. So I'm just going to close this straw hole, and then there is a baby, and that should root in no time. You can see how I go from like having like 10 cups to 5,492 cups, right? Ooh, this is pretty. This one is a Mantuk hybrid, and I think it's Mantuk crossed with Malacostica. I got it as seeds as well from somebody on Instagram. And I feel like this one, as it's a hybrid, I think I broke something, as it's a hybrid, grows way better than the Mantuk itself. I can't seem to keep Mantuk alive, or at least it seems to, what did I break? It seems to want to melt. It'll do fine, and then it'll melt. So I've got lots of plantlets in here. This one was bending sideways, so I'll probably, you can take a node, which is nice. You don't need a node for begonias, but you can take a node. Just various ways of increasing your chances of success. If you're a beginner, then you want to, maximize your chances of success. So you might take a node with or a stem rather, with an aerial root, or you might take a node, stem with a node, or you might take a leaf with a petiole, or finally you might take a, oh, that's going to grow out of there soon, better change that too, or you can take a leaf cutting and just score the veins and do that. But that's probably the more risky way out of all the aforementioned methods. Okay. Oh, I got confused again. Don't need so much water in there or soil in there. Oop. You're probably like, poor begonia. I'm going to put a little fresh soil in. Tap, 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 and then a little of my water with the macrorhizal recharge. Just make sure the leaves are not getting too wet. And just push that down. Lid on that. My mama plant. Okay, and then we've got a couple of babies here. So cute. And because this one is such a, well, at least Mantuk is so finicky. Look how cute these are. See? So cute. Like almost black with like silvery greeny leaves. So cute. I was going to say, because they're a bit finicky, I might use a cup again as opposed to, let's do both. So I'll put one in a cup and one in a shot glass, aka planter, with a propagation box. And we'll see which one does better. I mean, it's not the perfect experiment. They are both with nodes, stem with node. So they're fairly similar in size of cutting. So there's one. There you go. Close that up. And then we'll take a little cup. I might use a slightly bigger cup, but This is the 2-ounce cup. Okay, and again, I reuse these over and over and over again. Don't throw them away, and rarely do I recycle them. Maybe if they're like filthy or if they've cracked, then I will. Otherwise, just wash them and use them again. Okay, so that's going to go into a propagation bin, and this is going to go on my shelf. Similar cuttings. Let's just throw that little piece of a leaf in. I mean, you never know. Don't waste anything. Just going to tuck that little leaf in, and you never know what'll happen. Magic. Okay, so that's that. Almost there for this video. This one is a very easy grower as well. I've got some beads of soil, or beads of fertilizer, so just throw those in. This is Begonia Marwa Warhu. Marwa Warhu. I don't know. Murawarhu. And it's cute. It's smaller leafed than Begonia roseo punctata, much smaller. And super pink dots. It generally stays green or the slightly light green with the pink dots, whereas rosea punctata can either be green with pink dots or it can also be yellow with pink dots once it grows, once it gets a lot of light. So I'm pulling it out of here just so you can see where various places where we can cut. There's actually a lot of places we can cut here. But let's take a aerial root there. Oops, sorry. That's pretty big cutting. Probably take a few from there if we wanted to. And that cup is too big now, so if you're a good plant parent, you wouldn't reuse this cup. A, because I used it for another plant, and B, because it's kind of dirty. It's got some like algae on it. But you know what? Some part of me thinks, oh, I broke a leaf. Part of me thinks that if we're a little rough on plants, maybe they'll be a little more resilient. I think that, you know, not perfect conditions, and maybe they'll evolutionarily they'll survive, they'll, you know, evolve to become stronger. I don't know. I once had when I first started growing begonias, I had a guy that I bought from, I think his name is Jake. He's not around anymore, unfortunately, but he sold me my first big begonias, and he would say, oh, you know, I keep my conditions. I don't baby my begonias because I want them to grow for people when they buy them. So I'm not going to baby them. I want them to be tough. So you can see here, I hope you can see, there's aerial roots below and above. So I'm just going to cut it here. I don't need this many plants, but I'm just going to show you that you can take many cuttings. See, there's one right there. Sorry. And another one right there. This one is fairly big. If you want, you could cut off that bottom leaf or bottom stem petiole with leaf. This one here. Oh, okay. Well, it came off. I pulled it off. So you can plant that and make another one. Give it a little more stem, less chance of rotting with the leaf in there too. Anyway, that one fell off. So tap, 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 pull, and pop this guy in. And we'll just push the aerial roots gently in or put some soil on top. Done. We'll take the leaf with petiole again. Wahoo grows fairly well. You know, but a lot of it, don't be discouraged. I've killed 1 million propagations in my time. 1 million. And I still do. So don't be discouraged. I mean, it's taken me, 3 years to learn to grow begonias well and learn which begonias like what conditions, which begonias propagate better in which conditions. For example, like for me, Capaus huluensis, I can just put the leaf or the petiole, leaf with petiole, in a tiny bit of water in a cup, and it'll just grow a bunch of roots. That's already a beautiful plant. It's got some aerial roots. It'll take off in no time. Okay, we've got lots of babies here. I gotta get them into their containers soon. Again, same thing, Warawahu. This one doesn't have this. It's kind of a bit of a tree, so it's kind of tall and lanky. I think when you cut them, they grow thicker, like more bushy. So I think in that case, I probably have taken a cutting already, and the top is quite bushy. I could cut it again and make the bottom, like for example, cut it from here where there's an aerial root, cut it there, and then let the bottom grow a little thicker. But I think I'm just going to let this one grow in a bigger container. Come on, get in there. Get that right in there. And maybe give it a little more time. I mean, it's almost at the top again of this larger container. So that's a 20 ounce, 16 ounce. Maybe I should get some 24 ounce ones. But I could probably just cut that top leaf off. Let's do that. Cut it off. So it has a little more time. We'll plug this little guy into a small cup. Press down, hold, and in you go. And snug as a bucket. And then all these propagations will go into propagation box, and the cups will go back on the shelf. So I think that's all we'll do for today. I'll do many more. You can just let me know in the comments section what topics you'd like me to discuss. Maybe more on propagation, maybe making hand pollinating and creating hybrids, or getting seeds, or sowing the seeds. Specific types of begonias you want me to discuss. Yeah, just let me know in the comments and subscribe. Hit the little bell, which will inform you when I put up a new video, which hopefully won't be like once every 6 months. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.